All right, everybody. Hey, I'm Sam, and this is now week 2 of pursuing my creative artistic passion projects full time. This is a documentary vlog of my journey, and just a little rundown. I've been saving up for a couple of years now to take an extended time off to pursue my, creative goals, passions, projects, and right now, I'm in the process of taking around like 6 months to perhaps even 12 months off to do this. And I'm just, uh, you know, documenting my process. So if you want to check out why I made this choice and kind of like what led up to me taking this time off, you can check out video 0, vlog number 0. And aside from that, I'm just going to be talking about this week and how things have been going. So, this week I spent it working on hand anatomy. I continued from last week doing hand anatomy, so it's now been 2 weeks of working on hands, and I was working on my 2D animated project, working on character design. So I've done most of my primary and secondary character designs, but now I have to do all the designing for the tertiary character designs. And fortunately, it's going rather quickly, so that's good. And yeah, I'm just gonna like show you a video of kind of like how this stuff is kind of turning out right now. This is my sketchbook here, and this was this Monday on April 14th where I started. And my goal here for starting the week is I'm just continuing to do hand lay-ins and practicing. If you can see the lighter lines here, just like putting in the structure before putting in a harder line, and trying to like practice on how to achieve volume and while still remaining loose. So these hands came out at 11 minutes, 8 minutes, 12 minutes. Some of these are looking kind of funny. Not bad though. And these were more 5-minute loose. So I was working on, quicker time, trying to be looser with my hands. These are just some sketches during a break. Some dude with a lot of hair on his face. And yeah, this was the next day. I've pretty much been starting with doing like really quick warm up gestures that are 1 minute. So you can see the lines are really light. And sometimes I'm able to capture something that looks kind of interesting, and other times they're just pretty messy. But then I moved into 5-minute hands. Now, I worked with the Weston's online program for learning hands, and he challenged us to do 45 hands that were 5 minutes. So I started doing that. This one I thought was pretty cool. So was this one, number 1, number 3 with the knuckles was looking cool. Some of them I was just like, there's a lost cause here. Yeah, just more hands. 5 minutes for each of these hands. The time starts to rack up, let me tell you. Yeah, more hands here. A little bit of a sketch drawing I did. And then I started the next day because there was a lot of hands, doing some more gesture warm-ups, and then working into the rest of the 5-minute poses. So I'm at hand 30 here, and I'm starting to get some perspective on these, which I was enjoying. And yeah, this was like the final stretch run for the hands. But what I found most interesting after doing all these hands was at hand 45 here. I don't know if how well you can see it, but there's an element of fisheye perspective that's going on, which I thought was so cool that I captured here. This hand looked good too. I thought this one kind of interesting, and then so is this one over number 40. But I thought I was really onto something here, and I was wondering how I could bring that into the rest of my hands. But as the week kind of progressed, I don't know, I just got more frustrated, and maybe you can see that there's a mess going on here, but I ended up just like gearing over to figure out how to draw the fingernail, because the fingernail gives so much volume to where it offers so much volume to the direction that the finger is pointing. And if you can put the fingernail on right, like you're able to achieve a lot. I think I was studying like thumb wrinkles here, but this is some marker that bled through to the other side, so I guess I'll show you that. But So these were a couple sketch drawings that I worked on over the week. And, I added hands in these, and I'm playing with markers, particularly using Ohuhu. Yeah, they're not perfect. This one, the color was getting too much for me. This one I was enjoying, especially with the blend here that I looked up online. But yeah, they're just kind of like me playing around with some different aspects. I felt this hand was pretty good, but the thumb could come out, but I just didn't want it to overlap on the head there. Yes, I mean, they're not perfect. I'm playing around, getting messy. That's what's going on here. I was trying to get back into hands at the end of the week, and do more of a foreshortened hands, which I'm kind of achieving here a bit. But I think I was just hitting the wall and not wanting to do more with hands in the structure for the week so far. Yeah. But to wrap up the week, I did compile all my hand structure notes and just everything about hands that I've learned that I just want to remember, and even like a hand lay-in check cheat sheet for myself here. So that was something that I did. Also, something cool that I did, just showing off my marker art, is I ended up coloring in this character, which I thought looked really dope. Was just having a lot of fun with that. But pretty much, I think for hands, I was able to learn a lot during this past couple weeks. But I think I'm just going to move on to stylization now. But I'm going to continue doing maybe an hour of lay-ins in the morning, just so I can become a little bit better, because this, the work is showing. I'm getting somewhere and I'm improving, but there's still some more to learn here. So yeah, I will say one of the crazy things about doing hands and doing just this many of hands that you're drawing is that when I close my eyes, I'm literally just seeing hands. If I'm going to bed, or if I'm sitting down to meditate, or if I'm just hanging throughout the day, I'm looking at people's hands, and it's just getting, kind of wonky at this point. But that's kind of the fun of it. So aside from working on hands, this week I was also working on my 2D animation character design iterations. So I was working on finishing up my scavenger character, which I can show a clip here of it. And I was just working on the turnaround here. This turnaround was a bit tough. I had to definitely draw in some cylinders as kind of a reference for turning its head and beak around. Its body had an interesting shape, but I actually drew a lot of inspiration to how to nail this down from Final Fantasy's Chocobos, those bird monsters. So that was a really good reference point there for me to kind of get an idea how to do a turnaround for a bird. As I started working on the character design for the snake, which is another character, in my animation, but I was just trying to figure out whether it should have a diamondback, a belly, a rattlesnake tail, and so I was just trying to figure that out. I wasn't spending too much time on it because it's a simple character. But then I moved on to one of the other characters named Shobo, and I just went through a lot of iterations of her, just trying to figure out her pose, because we only see her for a moment in the animation. What else? She's angry, upset, and I know I haven't really talked about the animation. Maybe I'll do that in a different video of what I'm working on. But for right now, I'm just I'm just trying to capture her as her character. But I kind of got a little carried away while working on her, because I made her turn into a warrior, which she is completely not in this film. I was just really enjoying the character design with her. And yeah, he's just kind of experimenting with kind of whether her edges should be curved or if they should be more angled. But I think just with the with most of my characters, they kind of have either this curve or this angle to it within the kind of stylization of this animation. So yeah, but some things that I guess I'll just say what didn't work this week is, once again, I kept hitting the energy slumps around 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And I've got to figure out a different way to kind of fill in that time void and kind of be able to remain flexible at how I can ride that wave there, because I still want to be productive. But I still need time to rest and kind of, cook myself dinner and take care of my dog. And, sometimes I'm just like, I just don't feel like doing anything, and I just have different emotions that I am processing. So that definitely feeds into, the lifestyle or the energy that I'm riding throughout the day, and just trying to not technically force things, but still creatively kind of like go with the flow while staying disciplined, of course. So that was a bit of a challenge, and I'm still going to be working with that next week. And, aside from all that, what I'm going to be working on for next week is continuing more character designs. I'm hoping to finish Shobo and at least get her to a drafting level, or like a rough draft, and get some other characters up to a rough draft. And so that'll be done. And I think for hands this week, I'm done drawing real hands. Actually, I'm going to limit it. I think I'm going to do like maybe 30-minute to an hour of regular hands in the morning, then move on to stylization studies, and then kind of figure out how I can plug in what I'm stylizing to my main character of the animation and playing with her in that case. And maybe I'll do some other drawings. And I think I definitely need to get up on the watermelon business plan stuff, just to at least get that ball running. Because I think one thing that I did find challenging this week, which is actually kind of rewarding to find out, was that before I jumped into the character design development for Shobo, I had a lot of resistance, whether jumping into her or for the turnaround for the scavenger. And when you've been out of a project for a while, or you haven't touched it in some time, it can be kind of like hard to jump in the cold water again and just like get used to it. And in this case, I just jumped in. I was feeling a lot of resistance. Like, I don't know if I want to do this. But within like 10 minutes, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm enjoying this. And I breezed for another like 4 hours without a break, working on this thing. I was enjoying it. So I think the lesson is, if you're meeting resistance, is just to push through, see if it pushes back on the other side, or if the walls just fall down. And in this case, the walls fell down, so that was good. So that's going to be what's on this week, this upcoming week. I really want to do better on kind of like drawing more interesting eyes for my characters. I know I shared some of the marker illustrations I did, and I feel like I want to expand on these characters a bit more, but we'll see. And for now, I think I am done with my share and my update for this vlog and documenting. And yeah.